Our Sports Minister, Gayton McKenzie, gave his first budget speech in Cape Town yesterday. He addressed several issues, including sports betting, the Luxolo Adams Olympic team omission, the defense of DStv in the national anthem, and weighed in on the ongoing saga pertaining to broadcast rights. Minister McKenzie has also vowed to grant more visibility to the lesser sporting codes, and Yolu Lekoshe reports. All right, we'll get back to that report a little bit later. Let's go to this now. With just over a week to go until the start of the 2024 Olympic Games, South African athletes and teams have begun traveling to the city of Paris. The SA rowing team will be jetting off on Thursday with high hopes of reviving their status of the sport as one of the medal contributors, having missed out on a podium at the previous Games, or podium finish, I should say, in Tokyo. Rowing SA will have 2 boats competing at the Paris Games. And Newzroom Afrika sports reporter Vuyo Macoba joins us now to talk about this. Vuyo, let's start with what I just mentioned now in introducing you, that South Africa, well, the rowing team was disappointed to not have gotten on to the podium, at the very least a bronze medal the last time out in Tokyo. What's the plan now going into Paris?
Good afternoon to you, Benjamin, and to the Newzroom Afrika viewers. Certainly a disappointing run at the Tokyo Games for especially a team, a rowing team, who we know over the years have been some of the best contributors, or one of the contributors when it comes to the medal tally for South Africa. You look at some of the Olympic events that have passed before, 2016 in Rio, that silver medal that we got in the men's pairs. Then, of course, I guess the biggest one coming back in 2012, that gold medal with the full quartet, the guys that went on to be called the Awesome Foursome. They got a gold medal back in 2012. And then looking back at Athens as well, that bronze medal coming for South Africa. So every single year you look at either the athletics package, the swimming package. Rowing is always part of those teams that you're sort of guaranteed that they'll come back and with a medal for South Africa, or be counted as one of the sports that would have contributed. It's a similar case that they are going back to now in the Paris Games. You mentioned in your introduction that some of the athletes are already leaving South Africa. The rowing team will be departing tomorrow. It is departing with the men's pair of John Smith. Now, John Smith was part of the Awesome Foursome back in 2012, but also still holds that disappointment of back in Tokyo in 2021 at the Tokyo Games. And then he'll be then joined in by a young buck in Chris Baxter. Chris Baxter being, a 2022 world champion. So they'll be joining together in the men's pair. Then we've got another boat that is going to Paris in Paige Bedenhorst. She'll be then be part of, that singles run in the single sculls. So as a debutant for South Africa. So we are sending the men's pairs, yes, with a greater prospect to say you've got a John Smith who understands what it takes to win at that level of spade, but also holding that pain of having been disappointed at the Tokyo Games. So he comes in with a young buck to be able to, push off that boat, at least to bring us a medal from that space. And I think it's also redemption season, but just for rowing South Africa as well in this space, to say let's go back into Tokyo, into the Paris Games, and actually more than anything else be counted as one of those sports. So that is the makeup of the rowing team in South Africa. That trio for South Africa who holds now the hopes of that rowing team lifting back, or lifting back the prospects of bringing the glory days back for the sport in South Africa. And again, hopefully be counted in this event this year. Benjamin?
Vuyo, there's only one man I know who's ever walked on water. You look like you're very close at the moment. Where are you? What's happening there?
So I'm at the Emaratia Dam, and you can see behind me some of the rowers here who are participating, who come in on a daily basis. This different academies in and around Johannesburg. But more than anything else, I guess it's the conversation that I'm going to have later on with some or one of the 4 members who were the Awesome Four. I'm not sure if you still remember Usizwe Dlomo. who was part of that team back in 2012. He'll be joining me, of course, today, just having that conversation in relation to, I guess, the makeup of this team that is going to the Paris Games, but also what are the medal prospects for the rowing team in South Africa? How are they looking? How were the preparations leading into this? Do we have a chance for South Africa to be, bring back a medal from the rowing side? He was part of the team. He knows how it needs to be done. He was with John Smith, and as well, him speaking about the type of character that John Smith is, what type of character he is. Can he certainly be the leader of this trio when it comes to these games this year? We're going to be having a chat with him, and I couldn't find a better space than this space that is in. He's, of course, part of the coaching and the management team at the UJ rowing team, and he'll just be giving us his sense of what he thinks is going to turn out in Paris for the rowing team. Nobody knows better the rowing space than Usizwe Dlomo, so he'll be joining me later on, and he heard us that we come to this space, Benjamin.
Vuyo Macoba, thank you so much, live to us. And we'll be having a rowing conversation to find out where exactly South Africa is ahead of the upcoming Olympic Games. Thank you very much for your time.